If you're a new real estate agent, you're probably wondering, where is my next deal coming from? In this video, I'm going to share with you what's worked for me over the years to create consistent income regardless of what's happening in a real estate market. Also, if you haven't already, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and push the bell so you can get notified every time I do a video just like this so that you can crush it in your real estate business. When I started in real estate, I had zero sales experience. I had very few relationships in Saskatoon. I did not grow up here, and I was very shy and introverted. So what I'm going to share with you in this video today is what worked for me early on when I was starting in real estate and what has worked for me over the years to stay consistent in this business. And it's exactly what I teach to the new agents that I'm working with on my team still today, and they are absolutely crushing it. Number one, build your top 200 list. So what is a top 200 list? Well, your top 200 list is essentially anybody that you know them, they know you by first name, you could potentially do business with them, and they live in your service market area. As I'd mentioned, I did not know 200 people. I think I knew about 20 people, and I reached out to all of those people, and they basically said, "Hey Chris, you can come over and fix my ductwork. I feel sorry for you because you are unemployed giving it a shot in this real estate thing. It's not for you. It's not going to work for you. I'll pity you, basically. Come over and fix my ductwork." So basically, a lot of the people in that list didn't really serve my real estate business early on. There was a few people that did, but most didn't. Now, so one of two things will typically happen for you as a new real estate agent. You might be like me, and you really have to build a top 200 list essentially from scratch. Or you might know hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. You know, you've forgotten more people than you even realize. And so coming up with a list of 200 people can be daunting because you're like, where do I start? And so what I recommend is go through your cell phone contact list, go through all of your social media accounts, and try to put together on an Excel spreadsheet or on a blank sheet of paper just the names. Just the names first. In a perfect world, you're going to have name, phone number, email address, mailing address, but you can work towards that. In the beginning, just put the names, and it doesn't matter where you keep these names, but you want it organized so that when you're going to go from top to bottom of this list, you can tell where you're at, where you left off, and your number one first step is to reach out to all of these people as soon as you possibly can. Number two is apply what we call the 10% rule. Now, you're going to understand why 200 people is the magic number. Because the 10% rule says, if you keep in touch with, as an example, 200 people, either directly or through referral, you should be able to get a 10% return from that group, which essentially means you should be able to do 20 deals per year from a list of 200 people, because everybody knows at least 50 people, and people will move on average once every 7 years, regardless of the market, because of a variety of reasons. There's maybe people get married, people get divorced, there might be a death in the family, it might be a growing family, it might be a job transfer, it might be job loss, and a variety of other things. And if you do the math, 20 deals per year times average commission in your market. In our market, it's roughly $6,000. 20 deals times $6,000 is a pretty good living in real estate for most agents. Now again, this is your starting point, and this is one method of lead generation, but it is definitely where you want to start. Number three, and this is one of my favorites, build a Google My Business page in order to set the stage for your online presence. Now, you're a brand new agent and you might think, well, I haven't sold any houses. What good is a Google My Business page going to do for me now? Well, build a Google My Business page and then ask around to some of the other top agents at your office if you can share their listings on social media. Now, Google My Business is essentially a social media site in some sense. So you take their listings and photos of their listings and post them on your Google My Business page. And then you go through your top 5 friends, your top 5 previous coworkers, your top 5, most supportive family members, and you go out and get 5 or 10 or 15 5-star Google My Business reviews from people that can vouch for you, from people that can attest to your character. So you have a lot of positive character traits that you bring into the real estate business that you should be shining on your public resume, so to speak, which is your Google My Business page. Now, the reason why this is so powerful is because the first number of clients that you do business with, regardless of whether or not you've shown a house or done a deal, they're going to look you up online right away if somebody sends you a referral from your top 200 list. When they see you online, that you are available and that you are basically showing up online, you're going to stand out. Because surprisingly enough, there's still a large number of veteran, successful real estate agents that have been in the business a very long time that still don't have a Google My Business page, meaning when you search their name, all that shows up in the Google search feed is text. Now, if you have a Google My Business page, you have multiple different places on your Google My Business page where you will have imagery that will show up in the news feed. So you have the photos section, you have the product section, that's where you can post other agents' listings. You have the post section. So for example, if you were to post something on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, you can also post it on Google My Business as well. And from there, of course, you have other, places that imagery can show up in the search function, like YouTube as an example. But Google My Business is the most powerful feature. It's more important and more valuable than any other review site because Google Search and Google My Business are part of the same family. And finally, one of the other reasons why Google My Business is so great and so powerful is because when they search you, they can literally just push a button to phone you right then and there on the spot. They can push a button to visit your website, which, by the way, it could take years and years and years in order to build a website, and it could cost you thousands of dollars to build a website organically and have it show up in the search function anywhere that's relevant to you. Whereas here, you're going to show up at the top of the search when people look you up just because you've built a Google My Business page. So definitely don't wait to do this early on in your real estate career. Now, here's a really great fun exercise for you. I do this with my team every so often, and it has been a huge value added asset for boosting their online presence early in their real estate career. So drop a link down below, a link to your Google My Business page, and then start engaging with the other viewers of this video and get to know each other, maybe connect for a quick call or, exchange sort of experience in real estate, what's working for you, what's not working, but use it as a form of networking to maybe exchange 5-star Google My Business reviews with each other. Utilize the people that you meet online, utilize your fellow real estate agents, your fellow teammates as a really great source to build up your Google My Business page. Drop a link down below for your channel. Number 4 is to apply the 4-touch rule. So if you're going to reach out to the people that you know in your sphere of influence, you might be asking, what do I say to these people? I haven't talked to them, many of them, for 4 to 5 years, maybe 8 to 10 years. I joke and say it's been 2 divorces ago since I talked to these people. And so here is how the 4-touch rule essentially works. The first time that you reach out to these people, all you do is you reach out to them just like you normally would if you were reaching out to them out of the blue, which is essentially exactly what you're doing. So the first time you reach out, all you do is you say, hey Bob, it's been a while, just wanted to reach out and see how things are going. How's the dog? How's the kids? How's the family? How's this? How's that? However it is that you know them by, how's it going? Great to talk to you. I'll let you go. Talk to you again soon. Great to catch up. It's a 2 to 3 minute phone call. You want to keep it a nice, short and sweet. If it's too long of a phone call, even if it's a great old friend, they're not likely going to answer the phone next time you reach out. And in order for the 10% rule to apply, you need to keep in touch with people 4 times a year. Now, in the old days, you would, like in the 80s, let's say before my time, the only option you had to keep in touch with people was by phone. So you'd phone them 4 times a year, right? Today's day and age, you've got phone, you've got text, you've got personal email message, which by the way is different than mass email. Don't confuse the two. And then of course, you have social media, which is one of the most powerful ways, but I'm specifically referring to direct messages by way of social media. So the first time you reach out, all you're doing is reconnecting with them. 3 months later, the next time that you reach out to them, you are now referring back to whatever it was that you talked about to them the first time that you called. So, hey Bob, how's it going? Just want to check back and see how are things going with the dog, the cat, mom, dad, the job, whatever it was that you talked about with them the first time. Still, the second time you reach out, you're still not bringing up real estate. You're just establishing to them with them that you plan on keeping in touch, just being a genuine human being, a genuine friend, genuine colleague, acquaintance. You're just keeping in touch with these people. The third time that you reach out, you want to be a little bit more intentional to sort of do a real estate plug, which essentially just means, yeah, real estate's going really well. You don't get into it, but you try to bring up real estate in passing, as you're having your conversation with them. You don't get into it unless they ask. Okay? That's the third time that you reach out. Now, the fourth time that you reach out, you are now back in rapport with these people. You've rebuilt that relationship. You've essentially earned the right to ask for business. Now, keep in mind, if you have a stronger relationship with these people and if you hit it off right away, you can speed up this process. This is a rule of thumb. So the fourth time you reach out, you do say at the end of the conversation, by the way, keep me in mind if you know of anybody that's in the real estate market. Or you take a good opportunity to give them some value, give them some information on what's happening in real estate today because you've rebuilt that relationship. Now you're setting the stage and setting the tone to brand yourself to them as a go-to professional resource for them. Next time that you reach out, this is essentially the fifth time, you're never really ever going to have to ask for business again because the next time you reach out, what's likely going to happen is they're going to say, hey Chris, thanks for calling. I actually handed out 3 or 5 of your business cards. Did anybody call you? And the next thing you're going to have to do is train them on how to send you referrals. And instead of saying, and you will say to them, instead of handing out my business card, next time you talk to somebody or you know of somebody that's in the market, could you kindly ask them for permission and have me call them? Or better yet, set up an introductory email. And of course, worst case scenario, if you catch wind of the fact that somebody sent you a referral, you follow up with the referral source until you have permission to get in contact with or until the prospect, potential buyer or seller has reached out to you. And either way, you always thank them for that business. So in a nutshell, that is the 4-touch rule. Number 5 is if you don't have a top 200 list or you've already gone through a top 200 list, I'm going to keep this point very simple, but I am going to share with you on a separate video essentially how to build a top 200 list. If you are starting from scratch, there's multiple different methods to do it, as well as I'm going to share with you on that video all of the different prospecting methods that you could potentially go through outside of building your sphere of influence. Like I said, I had a very small center of influence, so I had to use other methods of prospecting like door knocking, social media, and not social media connecting with people I know, social media connecting with people I don't know. I've also done cold calling. I've also done open houses. I've also done cold calling for sale by owners, and the list goes on and on. I'm going to share with you in a separate video how to approach those different methods of prospecting, but I wanted to share with you today this key point, which is keep in touch with people on a consistent basis, whatever the prospecting method is, but track the amount of people that you talk to per day. Make sure that you're having at least 5 conversations per day, and if you do so, you should be able to make $100,000 a year as a real estate agent. Sometimes things are easy to do, but also easy not to do. Easy to understand, but not easy to implement. Simple, but not easy. If that's the case for you, and you understand what it is that I'm talking about, but you're still struggling to build those habits that are productive on a consistent, regular basis, I've been there, and I'd be more than happy to help. Feel free to reach out to me at questionsformolinar@gmail.com, and I'd be more than happy to help. All right, so now you know how to find clients and win the business. And if you apply this into your business, you might be looking for more. And if that's the case, feel free to check out the other videos here on my channel. And of course, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and push the bell so you get notified every time I post a video just like this. And otherwise, thanks for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.